Dad! Oh, wait, you say me.
You know what you said? How you see you? It might take a minute because you know my computer's been messed up. Hey, there you come up.
Hey, it says I'm live. And she says she sees me over there, so I know I must be up.
I got double the piggy, yeah.
Double the piggy, double the piggy. She sees me across the room, which ain't far, and on her screen, Lord help her. Now, we wouldn't be doing that because if we fell over, there wouldn't be nobody to pick us up.
Hey, Abbott. Hey, Troy. Hey, Linda. Hey, Backtrack. Welcome in.
Backtrack, Abbott, Linda, Troy, I've seen Joe C.
And Sampy.
and Sampy. Well, Sampy sometimes comes in and goes away and comes back in later.
Yeah.
He is notorious for doing that.
Sampy hits all the lies.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. He pretty much knocks on all the doors.
Yep.
That's not a bad thing. I probably need to be more like that. Spend a few minutes here, a few minutes there. You know.
Having a better day-to-day backtrack than I've had past week.
Yeah. Folks, I tell you, we have angels all around us,
Yes, we do.
and they're called very dear friends. Uh, we hate asking for help. The car went down, and we wasn't getting no help locally. I'm talking about in the immediate vicinity locally. Uh, with money that we'd have been getting anyway, and a ride to get a battery. But that was a good thing because God knew more than we do. And so we put out the call. Bad as we hated to do it, we put out the call. Lord laid it on her heart to do that GoFundMe thing. She put it out there. And my little sis has helped out. There's been a few others in the community here on YouTube that's helped out. I don't know if that's done yet or not. And I had another very dear friend, her husband and mother came to help. I was not expecting that. And not only did they help, they came and the thermostat housing, they went and got the part, they fixed it. There was a couple of other issues that showed up getting into that. They took care of that. My little sister sent me a battery. And I call him my sister's husband. She's a very dear friend of mine. I call her my sis. We're that close. But I also call him my brother because he's no less than a brother.
Avid, the GoFundMe is on my YouTube, not YouTube, well, it's on my YouTube page, but it's on my community tab, and it's also on my Facebook page. That's the only places I personally shared it out. Well, also on my Instagram, but it's on Piggy's Facebook page as well.
She put it, I posted, shared it. Anyway, he did the work of putting it on. They went and got the parts and they brought them back, and he did the work of putting them on. And he put that battery, my little sis from Mentone had sent me, and he put that in. We took it for a short drive to make sure it wasn't leaking and everything. And then Elaine and I last night was very tired, and she didn't have it in her to do any cooking, and we didn't have enough strength in us to be able to do any walking around the store. So we went to Wendy's and got us some Wendy's. Next time we're going to check it because that was expensive. We could have had a sit down meal for that much, but we didn't need that much. So we went for a burger and fries and hey, Melinda, and did that. I got a little something to help me relax. And we came home, ate, and I sat and relaxed and everything. We're going to be recouping from this for a while because there's a lot of stress. I wasn't stressing it getting done. I knew it was going to get done one way or another because we'd have had the money to do the battery tomorrow. It would have just been a matter of getting it here. Because that car right now is our only means of transportation. So anyway, Lord put it on her heart to do the GoFundMe. We was discussing how much to put on there. Well, you know, if we're going to do it, might as well do it for a decent amount. That way we can get the car took care of and possibly get some enough to get parts and some tires for that van and get it back on the road. So that when we go to make a move, hopefully soon, we wouldn't have to have it towed to where we're wanting to go. We could drive it, hauling other stuff in it. So that's what we're doing the GoFundMe for, is to get enough to not only have the car done, which is done now, and to have the van done. It needs front brakes. I don't know exactly what's causing its issue. It's only on the right side, but I figure if I'm going to do anything on brakes, might as well replace them all if I can. So that's what we're going to do. And I need the headlight assemblies because those are too far gone. Avid, you could always ask a question. Josie said, "Hello, let me get my earphones."
Yeah.
Well, it's not like I can reach through here and stop you. Go get them earphones. And I believe I might can possibly, I can order the parts for the brakes through Rock Auto. And I believe I've got jack stands and a floor jack, and I can put down some wood to give a solid surface on top of that gravel in there and get it jacked up on stands and start taking off tires and brakes and rotors. And
yes, Avid, you may.
I done told him good luck. It would be much appreciated. Thank you. But we're going to do that. If my little sis, not my sis, but my little sis, does something that she said she'll do, we will have the final obstacle out of our way that's keeping us from being able to go forward with trying to get that other place. And I think y'all may remember what we said that was. That's paying off the car. So that gets done. We'll have a few extra months to work on paying on other bills with more money to pay on them. And then the only other obstacle we would have to face in actually getting that place is closing costs. And Elaine has already looked into some things to help with that. There may be some things that can be worked out on that to take care of that too. But we've already talked to the bank. We can get a VA for $60,000 at $407 a month, which would be plenty good enough. Now, my sis's mom, thank you, Melinda. My sis's mom was giving Elaine some advice about that part. on what to seek to do, uh, which would mean trying to get that place for less than they're asking. Because that thing has been in and out of foreclosure for the last 9 years. You know, uh, I'm sure whoever the lender is would appreciate being able to get rid of it. And our bank knows me being disabled, they got a guaranteed payment every month. Josie!
Hey, Josie.
And so that would get rid of it for that other lender that has the title on the thing. That would get our bank putting the loan. But if we can get it for less, because the lady down there did it for $60,000 just in case. But if we can get it for less, say less than $50,000, we would have a far less payment. We'd be somewhere in the 300s instead of at 407, hopefully in the low 300s for a payment. Purdy!
Hi, Tish.
So, but the only hindrance to being able to go forward with that has been we've got to get the car paid off first. With the car paid off, we can make moves towards seeing if we can't get that place. And we can do that. Folks, it's on. So anyway, we're getting close to that. Well, the battery had died. And taking stock of a few things that have been going on with the car and seeing the difference in it last night after putting in a new battery, I now know what the indicators were of the old battery going down. And it was its time. It's 5 years old. I understand. What's your new toy you looking at? But so we were facing a crisis. Bear in mind, again, we would have had the money tomorrow to take care of getting the battery, but we wasn't getting no help from the immediate vicinity. Alvin! You know, y'all know I got to do it like that with Alvin. Yeah, it just ain't right if I don't. Huh? Yeah. So that totally stressed Elaine out. She went and laid down, and a little while later she came to me and told me she felt like the Lord put it on her heart. She was going to talk to me about it first, but the Lord felt like the Lord had put it on her heart to go find me. I just looked at her and said, "Go for it." I said, "I think God's fixing to show us something." Folks, that was an immediate response from some. There's one in here who spearheaded getting some of this out there and has been a great help towards doing what we want to do. I'll never be able to repay that kindness. I don't think that person wants that kindness repaid. She did something out of the pure love of her heart. A couple of others sent a little something for us. Then my little sis, she started working on figuring out a way to get me a battery delivered here. And then my sis, her name is Dana. Her husband's name is Adrian. Her mother's name is Jody. I call her Mama Jody. And I kind of have a sneaking suspicion she kind of looks at me as one of her own too. Because I helped her little girl out one time. Her little girl was in a very bad situation. I helped her get out of that situation and gave her a place to stay until she could get herself on her feet again. So I think her mama might like me a little bit because she was when they was here yesterday working on the cars. She was talking about it and was telling me, that she saw the GoFundMe pop up. She said she looked at Dana, my sis, said, Mike needs help. Folks, she said it like a mama, that it was matter of fact, we're going to do this. Why ain't we already gone? Because the look on her face and the tone of her voice when she told it to me was, oh, crap. There's some moving and shaking fixing to happen. And it sure enough was. And so my sis was contacting Elaine, and the next thing I know, I'm getting a call, and they were already on their way. You know, and folks, let me tell you, it was not going to do. I couldn't have made any kind of rebuttal to hold them off for a minute, let me think nothing. If it wasn't going to do them, they're going to fix that car. And they did. Adrian looked at it and see what was going to need to be done and found out from me what he needed to know from me and looked at it and studied it real good. And then they went to the part store and they bought the part it needed. He saw a couple of other issues that needed to be took care of, and he took care of those too. Well, my sis and I and her mom, Mama Jody, stood around talking. And folks, I'm going to tell you, I ugly cried.
He's been doing that for about 3 or 4 days.
And I'm trying to keep myself at a certain level so that I don't go to ugly crying here because I could. But then y'all wouldn't understand. Johnny Small Pepper!
Hey, Johnny Small Pepper, welcome in, my darling.
And Johnny, I'm going to say this kind of vaguely, but somebody could put my little joys in between 2 blocks and smash, and I still wouldn't never tell. That information is something that's going to go to the grave with me.
Butler. Who's Butler?
Huh?
Oh, Butler Family Farms. Hey there.
Butler Family Farm. Gary. Well, howdy.
My screen, started scrolling up.
Sorry I didn't catch you coming in. I have a bad habit of doing that. I get to yakking and I don't see nothing. She normally catches the comments.
Everything scrolled up real quick and I didn't see it.
Right.
I'm sorry about that, Jared, but welcome in.
So a lot of y'all may not understand what I just said about that little something, but I know Johnny does. And some things you can tell it to me because it'd be like telling it to a dead log laying in the woods somewhere. It ain't going nowhere. Don't you mean a jabberjawing? Like jabberjaws? Jabberjaw. So, anyway, we're talking about stuff. Like I said, I ugly cried a lot. And my sis reminded me, she said, you remember when you helped me? I said, yeah. But I'm the one used to being able to do the helping. I used to have a lot of strength, strong back. I could do things most couldn't. I surprised a lot of folks because of what I could do in my small stature. And because we ain't talking about no lightweight stuff. I pulled a concreted in post up out of the ground for them when they was going to redo a fence up there at their house. They had it mostly dug out, but it wasn't all the way. And they still couldn't quite get it. So I moved Adrian over to the side and I got around that post and I grabbed a hold of it and I pulled that thing. Yeah, it's concreted in, it's got a good 18 to 24 inches of concrete. you know, about that big, you know, and I'm grabbing it up and yanking it up out of the ground for them. They're sitting around wide-eyed, huh? You know, my sis talking about me being able to take furniture and throw it up on my shoulder and go home, no problem. You know, bulk weight, doing that kind of thing. And that's the kind of strength I used to have. You know, didn't matter if it weighed a lot. I was going to take and do with it what needed to be done. But she told me, she says, "You remember when you helped me?" I said, "Yeah, but I'm used to being the one helping, not getting help. You know, now I've never been able to help anybody out financially. I've never had any money to speak of, but I had a strong back and a strong body. When it comes to moving stuff around and getting some stuff done, I was the one to call, and I'd be there." Well, that got returned to me yesterday, and I had to tell my sis, I said, you know, to explain to her how I was feeling. I told her, I said, "You remember how you felt when I helped you out of what you were in?" I said, "Well, that's how I'm feeling now." And folks, the thing about it, what she was in a very bad marriage, very abusive, not overtly physical, but, and I'm not going to say the things that was going on with it, but it was bad. It was extremely bad. And I got a few of us together and we went and got her out. And then let her stay here with me and a friend of mine until she got on her feet. And once she got on her feet, she hit the ground running. So, you know, I'm used to being the one helping. And she ain't the first. But there's that other friend that was here at the time that she came to stay with me, had been in a similar situation. Not as bad, you know, there wasn't no abuse going on, but it was just a bad situation. And yeah, I haven't exactly, you know, that's what I've been telling folks. God has been showing us his love through the love of others.
Mm-hmm.
And the full of God's love hearts and the people that have been stepping up to help us out, God has been showing us his love. So it was a good thing that help that should have been was not willing to help. I think that end of it is trying to teach me a lesson because I've been getting into it with the other half of that because he's an idiot. You know, try to explain how water comes down a hill, but it doesn't just come down the surface of the ground. It also goes down underground and comes down. Well, it don't work like that. Really? Faucet bagger, he don't like that. I put an insulated bucket over it to keep it from freezing during the winter. Well, it won't freeze and bust. Yeah, it will. I've had to fix it. I know it won't. What? Yeah, so somebody that totally denies facts and reality and wants to argue with me about it, even after I've said I've had to fix it. And when they say that they know it won't, even after I've said I've had to fix it, they're calling me a liar. I told them as much too. I didn't call you a liar. No, you didn't say the word liar, but you called me a liar. I don't cotton nobody gonna call me a liar when I know I'm right. So that part thinks it's punishing me by not going ahead and giving us money they give us anyway for doing what we do and getting us a ride to get a battery. But that worked out for the best because there was other issues that needed to be seen to, and also got that other issue took care of at the same time. God knows what He's doing.
Mm-hmm. Better than we do.
You know, and it's another example of God using the wicked to do His will. Because had they, yes, sir, it sure does, Johnny Small Pepper. For the record, karma is God. You know, because God is the one that says what's going to go and what ain't. And when He lets you go, then you're at the tender mercies of the prince of this world. That don't never work out too good. So, anyway, we had some angels visit us yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday and the day before.
Well, physically.
Yeah.
Here. Freedom Redbeard, well, hello.
All right, Brandon, welcome in.
And had another angel, my little sis, sent us that battery. And messages, she apologized to me for not having been able to physically come and bring it. You know, but she had to work. And I told her, I said, hon, you're a busy woman. You got lots of things to do. She works at a hardware. She runs and keeps a heavy equipment business going. She got a grandson that's, what, you're old now, ain't he?
Going on 2.
Going on 2.
And she's on the rescue squad up there.
And she's on a fire rescue squad up there where she lives. Yeah, she's a busy woman. You know, I appreciate the fool out of her forking out the cost of a battery and having it sit here. That couldn't have been cheap.
I know about how much it was from what I saw.
Yeah. Well, that's neither here nor there. It's just a fact thereof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's an angel coming to your rescue. Mm-hmm. You know, angels don't always have wings, folks. They're called very dear friends. Then others help out monetarily. Angels don't always have wings. They're the good hearts of people who love God. And but anyway, that's why we did the GoFundMe, was to see if we couldn't not only get what we needed to fix the car, but to fix up the van too, so that if the car should the car get paid off, we would have that obstacle out of our way, allowing us to move forward with seeing about getting out of here and make it to where we wouldn't have to tow that van, because we could drive it then and have it loaded. Folks, you put all them seats in the back down, you know, you've got cargo room like a small truck. Right, David, because the Bible says that we entertain angels unawares.
Yeah, I told Piggy about the situation with my mom and granddad entertaining angels unawares.
Yeah. And you know, so the day before was an ugly cry day with my little sis, messaging back and forth and everything. And yesterday was an ugly cry day because, you know, my sis and the husband and her mother came. All right, Johnny, you do what you got to do. And, you know, and came and did all that they did yesterday. And like I said, we took it for a drive last night, and we needed something to eat, and we was too tired to cook, too tired to walk around the store, so we went to Wendy's. And like I said, next time we'll go to Checkers, because, man, that was expensive. And that's all right, Freedom Redbird. I appreciate you stopping in and saying hello. You do what you got to do. Life goes on and stops for no one. But So anyway, just since Thursday evening, and that's pretty much about 3.5 days now since she put that out there, and God moved in major ways.
I tell you what, God moves quicker than you ever expected to.
And I can tell you for a fact that the blessing all of you have been to us will not go unanswered by God, because it has never failed at any time someone was a blessing to me, God turned around and blessed them 100-fold over. Every single time. Not that that's been a frequent thing, mind you, but it has happened a few times. And those people, Troy, my boy!
Hey, Troy, welcome in, my darling.
And those people who have been that blessing to me, and couldn't figure out why they became so greatly blessed. And I didn't tell them. Because God didn't do it because of me. God did it because they were good to one of His. Whether or not they were one of His or not, I don't know. I'll give you a case in point. My little sis, I've not been able to help her out financially. I did do one thing once that more helped her husband, which would have helped her, but I took an old scooter up there because I couldn't get it to run in. I couldn't really, I wouldn't be able to ride it anymore anyway, even if it was running, because I'd become disabled, and it would have been extremely dangerous for me to try to ride a two-wheeled vehicle. And I took it up there. She got on to me for having loaded it into the van to take up there because of my condition. And I told her, well, who else was gonna? She was, well, you're right. Anyway, her husband, he started fiddling with it to see if he could get it running. And he was working with piecemeal tools like I've had to do in the past. And I was kicking myself in the butt because I had a ton of tools here. Not a great professional set by any means, but there's a lot of different tools. They were old, they were still serviceable. So I took a lot of them to him. I took a nice, not all that much used chop saw, miter saw, an old 1/2 horsepower drill that would still work. And I took, sockets and other such things, other tools, that chop saw. The following day, after I took that up there, my little sis told me, she said, he had a job come up that following day that had he not had that chop saw, he would not have been able to do, and he would have missed out on a job. And folks, he has built up his little handyman thing from there ever since. And she has been greatly blessed in a lot of ways. And things would come up, and I tell her, well, this and that, and this and that, and everything. And her cousin's business partner, who's also a lawyer, she'd be talking to me about a particular thing, and I tell her what I knew and could see. And she said, that's the same thing thus and so said, that lawyer. Folks, God sometimes shows me things and tells me things. And if I call it, bank on it. because it's not because I'm smart or that I'm anything. It's because, I got a little cheat. I got God on my side, showing and telling me things. And what you making jigs for, Alvin? Oh, fishing jigs, I guess. Okay, never mind. And I have to remember who I'm talking to because we got fishing community folks in here too. But yeah, so it's a good thing. But anyway, I told her to go ahead and run with that. And I told her, I said, I think God's about to show us something. Boy, howdy has he. And I don't think he's done. Because after the battery thing was taken care of, my little sis told Elaine a little something. And folks, I had a full down meltdown, ugly cry over it. Because if she's able to do what she said, that final obstacle will be out of her way several months ahead of schedule. And that'll give Elaine several months of being able to work on bills a little better because she'll have extra money to do it with. And if we can do this thing and have enough to now work on that van and get it roadworthy, headlights, brakes, tires, tires aren't an emergency thing. It's just that it's been sitting a long time. It's got flat spots. Make for a rough ride. And I hadn't checked and see if there's any dry rot on them from where it's been sitting for a while.
We got 2 newer tires on it than we do. We were going to change the tires when it went down. So we know 2 need to be changed for sure.
Yeah. But if we can pull this off and get all that done, we'll have 2 vehicles, and we'll be able to haul stuff back and forth in both vehicles, and we won't have to have one towed. That would be very advantageous with what we're wanting to try and do. And so, but anyway, a dilemma came up. That was what was laid on her heart. I told her to run with it. God was going to show something.
Hey, Mona, welcome in.
Mona did what? What did you do? And he's showing us something, all right. And he ain't done. Yeah, so there we are. And so again, we have angels around us every day, folks.
Yeah.
And they're called very dear friends.
I call them family. Family of the heart. Because
not all angels have wings. That's just the reality of it.
It's just like not all superheroes wear capes.
Well, that's right. Some of the best superheroes I've seen sometimes go around in wheelchairs. Because you can be having a bad day and they'll make you laugh. So I've never come across as many great and wonderful people as I have in doing this YouTube thing. And I've met a few. Got my little sis and my sis and her mama and Adrian. And told y'all how I first met Adrian. And then the same night I met him and found out all I ever needed to know about him. He's been a brother ever since.
He's a good man.
What it was is I used to be a designated driver. And I'd take my sis and this other lady that I was friends with bar hopping. I'd make sure they got there and I'd make sure they got home and stayed safe in between. That was the protocol. Well, one night we went to one somewhat locally, and that's when Adrian saw Dana. Now, Adrian's a Mexican fella. Love him to pieces. And
Nice looking Mexican fella.
yeah, he was wearing a pink shirt and rocking it good. And
Adrian's a nice looking fella, whether he's Mexican or whatever. Yeah. He's a nice looking fella.
He's a well formed man. But more than that, he's got a great heart. Very smart individual, too. And anyway, we didn't know about him yet, and we walked in there, and he'd seen her from way across. And it was game over for him. He wasn't going to do it, but he was going to make her his wife. You know, just had seen her, and he was done. He made sure they met all throughout the night. Anytime my sis got next to me and my friend, ain't he so pretty? He's so pretty. Ain't he so pretty? Me and my friend was just cracking up. Well, she was still in that bad situation somewhat. She's having to take care of the remnants of the fallout from that. So, you know, some things had to be a little clandestine. Guess who became the go-between on text messages? Tell her I love her. Back and forth. Until everything was resolved and they were able to carry on with their lives. And it was a lot of fun. It was funny. And well, at the end of that night, we had somehow got separated. His brothers was taking me and my friend out towards their truck, but I didn't see Dana. Well, as his brother was taking us out to his truck, he had his arms around both of us. You know, he was in the middle of us. And got close to his truck. I didn't see Dana because he said, oh, that's where she'd be. I did not see her. When I did not see her, I turned around, dude's arm around my neck and started taking him back with me. And he just, bewildered look on his face was just amazing. Of course, I didn't take too much time to take stock of that. I was on a mission. I went back up towards the club. Didn't see nothing. So we went towards our car. Didn't see nothing. So I started to go back towards the club. And about a third of the way back towards the club, I saw them a third of the way away from the club. And folks, I was puffed up, blowed up, because I was fixing to rock. And because protocol got broken, you know, and it was my job to make sure they were all right. Well, as soon as he got within arm's reach, he held his hand out to shake my hand and looked me dead in the eyes and said, I'm sorry, this is my fault. I broke the protocol. You know, I deflated and learned everything I needed to know about that man in just those two statements. He's been a brother ever since. There might be a lot of y'all as good as he is out there, but you won't find none better. And he made good on his word too. He made her his wife, and he has been good to her. And this started about 15 years ago. So, you know, so I didn't have to worry about Dana being with him because I know a couple of other things about him. Trust me. That man can take a whole lot of pain hurting somebody else over hurt. So, and he works hard, makes decent money, and everything. And he also works hard to be pleasing to his mother-in-law, uh, which is kind of in his best interest because she's an extremely good woman. She's also extremely smart. She mess you up. But he doesn't do it out of fear, though. He does it out of love. So he's been a brother ever since to me. I don't get to see him often. And I regret that over the last few years, it's the first time I've got to see them. And it was so they come help me out. And see, that was another thing to it. Hadn't seen him, what, a couple of years?
About two.
Because we was working on those units out there last time they came up.
Yeah. Well, I think we went up to their house either after that or before that. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
But I know it's been about a couple of years.
Yeah. And so the first time I get to see them is for them to come.
Face to Ace, welcome in.
Ace the Ace! I think I know that name. Hadn't seen it in a while, but I think I know that name. But, yeah, so I regret it was under those circumstances. The folks, that goes to show. Family. That's family. You know, my little sis, apologetic for not having been able to come physically herself to bring that battery to me. No, you took time out of your very busy schedule to work out a way to get me one and get it here. You know, I couldn't have asked for no better family than that. You know, but she's also doing it because, one, the place we're looking at is only 15 minutes away from her. And she has for years been hoping and praying to God that we could eventually get a place somewhere up there near her. Because Elaine's medically disabled because of the cancer battle she went through. I'm 100% disabled because of the nerve damage. I'm supposed to be walking around on a walker, folks, and I don't. I'm stubborn. I'm as stubborn as they come. And, you know, just like in combat, you know, I still got breath in me. I'm still going to be doing whatever I can to reach the goal. And if I'm walking around on a walker, I can't do some of the things I do. So I'll keep going until there's nothing left for me to keep going with. Of course, I have made a concession when I'm feeling particularly weak. I've been carving this out and I've stained it up. I've got some epoxy I'm going to put in all these grooves and holes to pretty it up. And after I do that, I'm going to clear coat it with mini coats. Give it a nice deep, very deep look to it. And we'll use it from time to time to be a third leg to help me keep my balance out there. But sometimes I don't always keep a pretty good balance. So I stumble a little bit. So that gets a little sketchy. It's got a natural imperfection in the wood right here that made a perfect spot for my thumb. When I hold it, I made this groove around it because my hands naturally do this right here. So my hand naturally goes around that, fits right in that groove. I can just pick it up, not have to put no effort to it to try to grip it. And my thumb goes right there in that natural imperfection right there. It's pretty awesome. When I get the epoxy done to it and clear coated and everything, I'll show it again. I've got a metallic blue epoxy that I'm going to put in it. I got to get some other stuff to be able to fill it up, know how much I need to use it each time and everything. And since there's little holes all over it, I'm going to have to do one side at a time. But that's all right too. See how long it takes that stuff to dry. And I might can do it all in a day if it don't take too long for that stuff to dry. Well, it hurts real bad. Haven't you still ain't never give Linda that spiral cut ham? Yeah, my little sis kind of wants that because with Elaine being medically disabled, though she doesn't get a check for that because they took hers when I got mine, saying I make too much. Go figure. So my little sis kind of wants us close so she can kind of keep a check on us because she knows there ain't nobody around here going to keep a check on us except to be a problem. So, you know, and that's going to be another good thing about we get that final obstacle done. We can look into actually doing something, getting out of here and going to that other place. Well, Abbott, if I feel myself being goosed, I'll know what it is. And so I'll be around somebody who can come check on me. And Elaine will be 5 minutes from a grocery store if we have to make a last minute run to get a little something that might have been forgotten. And my little sis usually comes down that direction anyway when she goes to grocery shopping and stuff. So it wouldn't be nothing for her to pop over 5 minutes because it would be 5 minutes from that store, grocery store. So it wouldn't be nothing for her to pop over 5 minutes to come give a check on us. Of course, we got the phones, but there comes a time when she don't get a response from messages and Snapchat or whatever. To suit her.
Signal up there.
To suit her, she'd be apt to come by and see what the problem was. So all that's good things. Another thing about it is this house got white mold and black mold all throughout it. Of course, to hear it from some, there ain't a thing wrong with this house. I showed my little sis pictures of insulation down in the basement, and she said, "Oh my God, that's full of white mold." I know there's black mold in the attic. So if we can get this place, it will help us out because we'll be able to breathe better. If we're able to breathe better, we'll be able to sleep better. If we're able to sleep better, we might have a little more energy and start clearing some things up and feel more like doing some things. And two, if we can make this happen, if this is what God's got for us, and I think it is, we'd have 3 acres of land with a pond on it. I could get it stocked. Anybody wants to be welcome to come fish. It'd be a heck of a trip, but the door is open on that. And bingo, Josie, exactly. Can't get rest enough because we don't breathe good. And that's why. So that would be a good thing about being able
You too,
to
Miss
do
Mona.
this.
Have a great day, hon.
See you, Mona. So that's why I told her to run with that GoFundMe. It felt like God was fixing to show us something. And he has in major ways. The car's fixed, and we've already got some we can put towards the van to get it fixed. So maybe some of my next videos, I'll have her sitting out there filming me while I work on cleaning the van up, so that when we do get parts, she can film me jacking that thing up, putting it on stands, and taking tires off. No, Evan, he's not by a long shot, and he never will be. But in this current time, he's not going to be done until we're out of here. And that's what he's got coming. So, and this house makes it bad on her because, again, she's medically disabled and she won't ever fully recover from that battle. But, she could do better, but not in this house. It's rough on me because I've got asthma as well. It's not too good. So, but no, he won't be done until we're out of here because he's got, we've been asking him for things, praying about things in specific ways, and he's already shown us the door. We just have a few more steps to take before we can get to it to open that door.
I tell you what, when he opens it, they better be ready to run through it because my mom and I were expecting to be able to move in February of 2000.
All right, Melinda, you take care of that ankle.
Yeah, and God moved us in November of 2002. This is from September to November of 2002. We were expecting February of 2003. God opened doors and he moved. I know he can do it. We'll do it.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. Getting out of this house and getting into a better place is just closing the book on this chapter and opening the book of a new volume. In which another good thing about it would be we get that, we'd have more to offer on our videos. I could do more walking and talking. I'd have 3 acres to walk around on, a pond to show off. I plan on eventually putting me a piggy shack from a workshop on that place. Might already have one because it's got a big shed on the end on the other side of the carports on that place. It might be big enough for me to just do it there. And just have to wait and see. It's got a nice pretty wood fence around that property. There's all sorts of things. Not to mention the gardening that she wants to do and things that we'll do pertaining to that and everything. So we'd have a lot more to offer on our videos. But let's face it, sitting here listening to a short fat man just jabberjaw ain't too appealing to a lot of folks, especially on things I sometimes talk about. But if I got more to offer to show, walk around and show all that while I'm talking what I talk. And she'd have more to show because when we get to that and are able to do her garden, which is probably going to be pots and raised beds, probably off of a deck that we'll have built. So it makes it easy for her to get to and take care of. And everything. And then like I said, there'll be that pond. I'll get it stocked, and I might get help with that from my little sister's husband and my sunshine's husband. They might come down and help stock it and help take care of things. Because I've already let my little sis know that it's fishing and hunting. They're more than welcome to come down and fish and hunt. Fishing would be a good thing. They wouldn't have the 3 acres to work with hunting, but there's some woods back there in the back. So I'm sure they could do something with that. And that would get me some help with maintaining the property and everything. So it'd be a good thing all the way around. Got some pains going on. I'm trying to work them out. Our place would be a Bigfoot sanctuary.
That's right. The only thing in danger will be fish, maybe turkey.
Maybe deer if some come across. Because I'm going to tell you, my sunshine's husband, he can make some deer jerky that's to die for.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh yeah. So that might be another benefit that comes from being over there. So anyway, I can, for anybody that helps out on our endeavors, I'm going to tell you this now. I'd never be able to repay the kindness. And it is so greatly appreciated. I thank God for it. All right, Johnny, you take care.
Have a good evening, Johnny.
I thank God for it, but I also thank those whom God is working through. So, I won't never have the words to express my gratitude for the help we have been receiving and the help I know that is coming. So I just want everyone to know, thank you. And I'll just leave it at that. But I know Dale may be going live here in about half hour.
Yeah.
And we need to get some things started. And I need to get up and move around and spread my chest because my asthma's wanting to cause me a problem. Might be partially because of wearing this mask too. But everyone just thank you. My I don't have just a cup. I have a huge bathtub running over, full of love from everyone. They just and my gratitude to everyone is I can't express. And because y'all are helping us towards something we need badly. So, and I love y'all, every one of you, for everything y'all do. And with that said, I'm going to say, Piggy loves you.
Night, everybody.